Hello everyone, it's Terry from Umezushi here, and today we are going to share one of our biggest secrets in Umezushi with you. These tips has helped us to be a better, a safer, and less wastage in our kitchen. And that is the handling of frozen products. We will quickly go through some rule of thumbs of freezing, and then we'll go in a bit more depth about defrosting. Freezing, there's not too much. You freeze fast as you can to as low temperature as you can. And the ice crystal inside the material doesn't build up, so when you defrost it, it doesn't then damage the cells, etc. When defrost, there are few steps you can take, but a general rule of thumb in thawing is just low temperature and let it thaw slowly. The top reason obviously is safety. In seafood, there's actually a lot of parasites that we have to deal with, and freezing is one of the most reliable way to mitigate that risk. And this is actually in compliance with the FSA regulations. Logistics, it's clearly one of the biggest reasons that we don't quite have the same varieties of fish and the seafood as, say, in Japan or in Taiwan, where I come from. Convenience of it and the wastage. If you can freeze things, then clearly the wastage would be a lot lower. You don't have to get in a big chunk of tuna and worrying about them goes to waste if you don't finish them in a few days' time. Freezing and defrosting, if it's not done right, it can be very damaging to the quality. With the right technique, you can maintain 80, maybe 90% of the textures, the flavors. So what we're going to do today is I'll take you through some of the preparations that I'm doing for the omakase this weekend. We'll go through a few categories. One is fish, and next one is scallops or shellfish. Last one, crustaceans. Tuna, it's particularly difficult. The fat content and the textures and its size, it's notoriously fickle. So the first thing you'll need for tuna, 5% warm water. And for warm water, I meant somewhere between 53 to 55. The process is really simple. You get your frozen fillet, put into this warm water, warm salty water for 1 minute. You don't want too long and you don't want too short, otherwise you have not much effect. After that, you take it out, pat it dry, leave it on a tray, and then put it back into the fridge, open, unwrapped for 30 minutes. What that does is just helps to cool it down again and dry out some of the excess moisture. After that, you take those fish back out, and then we will wrap individual fillet in a absorbent paper. And what I normally use is this kind of J cloth. It's really good. After you wrap each fillet in this J cloth, you then wrap it in cling film, still frozen, put it back into a tray, into a fridge, let it defrost slowly overnight. It's very important to defrost it slowly at a low temperature. It just helps to reduce the drip loss. That's one of the measures that we measure the quality of the fish. And if you have high drip loss, that means the proteins and the membranes inside has been damaged by the freezing and defrosting process, so a lot of the moisture, the water starts sipping out from the fillet itself. You end up with just a really wet and soggy fish. So next one, we'll talk about scallops. These scallops are frozen from Canada. It's actually some of the best quality scallops we can get consistently. And very similar kind of treatment, 5% salt water at 55 degrees, but this time instead of 1 minute, we only put the scallops in for 30 seconds. They are much smaller in size, so it doesn't need to be in there for that long. 30 seconds, you take it out, pat it dry, back into the fridge in the open container for 30 seconds, just take away that extra moisture. Then we wrap it and put it in a container back into the fridge at 1 degree overnight. Last bit is crustacean. This is a very different category. Today we'll use the Botan Ebi to do the demonstration, also called the spotted sweet shrimp. They are frozen on boat from Canada. So Actually, you'll find this is very, very good quality and very sweet when it's defrosted right, when it's thawed correctly. The texture, the flavor, the sweetness, it's just heavenly. It's one of my favorite ingredients on our menu actually. You will see most crustaceans like shrimps, prawns are frozen in the UK. They need to be treated properly. And the way to defrost crustaceans properly is you defrost them in running cold water, or you can put them in a large quantity of water. The best way really is the running cold water. The main reason is that current actually helps to stir and encourage the heat exchange between the water and the frozen product. The reason for doing this is that a lot of the spoilage of crustacean actually come from the oil on the shell. Keeping this water running and having a large quantity of water, it just helps to take away the oil straight away, so the crustacean doesn't smell or taste bad when it's defrosted. As soon as it's defrosted, you want to either cook it straight away, or if it's for raw consumption, you want to deshell the shrimp straight away and then wrap it without the shell. So that way the flesh and the shell has the minimal contact time. That way you will have a very clean taste and flavor. Okay, so that is everything for the skills today. Thank you for watching. And do you find this useful? Would you try this at home, or do you have any other tips for defrosting or freezing your product or freezing your ingredient? Comment below. Thank you.